I'm Karen Atkinson. I'm the CEO of Mindfulness UK, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Compassionate Mindful Resilience Programme and what it is and why I decided to develop it, and also the fact that I've already now delivered one programme fully just for people who have experienced cancer and their carers or carers of people with cancer. And the reason that I decided to differentiate the Compassionate Mindful Resilience Programme, which started to be delivered in 2020 and has been extensively researched and published and used widely internationally, I wanted to differentiate it and just have a specific group where the discussions and some of the content was differentiated. And the reason for that is because I myself suffered from cancer in 2013, and I learnt about self-compassion in a very deep way in response to that. And for the next 10 years, I really practiced and read all the great and the good's work and talked to a lot of people about self-compassion. And I felt like I really embedded it so successfully in my life. And then, unfortunately for me, I was diagnosed in 2023 with another primary, completely unrelated to the last. And I really put the self-compassion that I'd learned into practice and had a totally different experience of maintaining more equilibrium, of taking things moment by moment and asking myself the question time and again, what can I do to support myself or be kind to myself right now in this moment? And the experience that I had the second time around was bigger, if I had to compare it, a bigger operation, way more debilitating, and has left me with physical symptoms as well as psychological, I would say, and emotional that I need to manage on a day-by-day basis. But I really bring my kindness and my self-care and nurture to all that I need to do as much as I possibly can. And so I also wanted to offer an opportunity to talk to somebody who was on the course, the Compassionate Mindful Resilience Programme, and to share their experience of doing it. So thank you very much, Lorna, for joining me here today. And yeah, it'd be lovely if you could just introduce yourself to begin with. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Well, first of all, just to say thank you for everything you have done, and deeply appreciate the course you offered, and the fact that I did it has been so beneficial. So I just wanted to say that first of all, thank you. So I think a little bit about myself. Well, I first was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2001 and had surgery and chemo and radiotherapy, and then on medication for 5 years, and then routine checkups and so on. And then in January 2022, I was diagnosed with a different breast cancer, the opposite breast, and again had surgery and radiotherapy. And then in July 23, I was diagnosed with colon cancer, and during the surgery for that, they found another cancer called a cyst on my stomach wall, and run-up tests to that surgery and scans showed that I had a PCC, which is pheochromocytoma, which is a very rare cancer on the of the adrenal gland, and had to have surgery for that in January of 24. And everything went extremely well. It was very successful. But then I was tested, and the reason I'm giving you all these details is because I had genetic testing, which shows I have a genetic condition, MUTYH gene, which is deficient, which means that the natural sort of protection that most people have against cancer is missing for me. My brother had 5 different sorts of cancer, and I have 5 different sorts. And I think it's important to let people know that, because I have an awareness that I am maybe likely to have other cancers in the future because of this condition. So that's a bit about my medical situation. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Lorna. And I'm so sorry that you've experienced such an extensive amount of cancer over the years, and that to really acknowledge the potential for more, and recognizing how difficult and challenging that must be for you to hold that and be vigilant around that. Thank you for sharing. And it does form really a context in which you came into the program.
Yes.
So really extensive, and lots of treatment as well. So
yes. Yeah. And I think just want to pick up that word vigilant. That is how I am. That is how my life is, and has been really since 2001, but more so now, because I realise there is a reason for what has happened. Yes, so there we go.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'd really love you to explain sort of maybe what experiences you had during the Compassionate Mindful Resilience program around the practices, the content, the sharing, the discussions, and doing it in particular with other people who just understood,
Yes.
rather than having to explain yourself or be part of a more general course. So if you're happy to do that, I'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. Well, yes, I joined the course because I thought it would be really helpful for me. I had counselling, I'd been offered counselling post colon cancer, and I found that very helpful. But this is a completely different level of exploration and depth and connection with my body, whereas the counselling, the NHS counselling I had, which, as I say, was very, very helpful, but it was more just on the cerebral level, just to do with my mind and my emotions, but no connection with my body, if that makes sense. Whereas this course, I feel this is very holistic. And I felt I would really, really appreciate the opportunity to do it, because for my mental health, really, because I'm an anxious person, I think, by nature. But I experience very deep anxiety when I have appointments coming up. I have a date for a scan in September. In a month's time, I'm already starting to feel a little bit anxious about that. I get anxious about results. I'm waiting for those, which I think is absolutely, well, I imagine most people with cancer experience those feelings. And I thought that, but sometimes I feel them overwhelming. And I thought it'd be really, really good to do something like this course to help. So that's why I joined it. And I also felt that I was looking for the opportunity to connect with other people who really understood what I was going through and what I had been through. And that's what I found was given in these sessions, because I wanted to be listened to by people who really understood through personal experience. I think I've mentioned before that maybe, people can be very sympathetic. Your friends and so on can be very sympathetic, but it needs somebody who has had the same experience or is going through the same experience to be empathetic. And that close, I was going to say it's almost on a cellular level, which to do with cancer is quite an interesting expression, which has just popped into my mind. because um, post treatment particularly, but even when going through it, I found the reactions of people, especially when you're on your third lot, sort of thing. The awareness isn't always there, and I feel that I haven't been able to talk to people about what I've experienced because they just don't get it, and I understand that because when my brother was so ill, I was very sympathetic and tried to help and support. But being in a group, and I'm not going to say on a course because that makes it sound very technical and sort of educational, and it's it's very different from that. It's being in a group of people who really understand what you're going through and listen, and as you're talking you just know they understand what you're saying, and there is that connection. And although the course is now finished, we are connected with the WhatsApp group, not that we communicate often at all, but I'm still aware that those people are there, and that connection is there. And yes, so what else did I say? Yes, and I think the fact that you, as again, I don't want to say facilitator, mentor of the course, guider of the course, the fact that you have experienced cancer as well is also extremely helpful and takes it to a deeper level again. Now I was going to say that I have, before I did this compassionate course, I found some little meditation tapes and things on the internet, and they were helpful, but again, it was a different sort of level. They were relaxing, but they were almost therapeutic rather than creating a deep connection between your mind and your body. It was more like visualize the cancer cells and visualize them being eaten up or obliterated, and so on, and relaxing music and everything. But these the practices here I found were very different from that. And what I loved about it was the words affectionate, compassionate, self-soothing, being kind to yourself, being kind to your body. And it's not like, the body positive movement is completely different from that. But it's loving your body, and that connection between my mind and how I feel about stuff to do with cancer, and my emotions, and the connection with my heart, which is integral to all of the meditations, isn't it? You talk about putting your hands around your heart, and yes, it's just been incredibly helpful and healing at a deep level. Yeah, I'd almost say a soul level, really, as opposed to any of the healing or sort of cancer treatment. This has been very, very, very helpful.
Oh, it's wonderful to hear, Lorna, and I really felt that myself as we were progressing through the course, that was building between us all.
Yes.
And I too found it very healing on a personal level, to be within a group of people who, we all had different, specifics, but we had all been through the periods of fear, of not knowing, of treatment, of recovery, some of us, but and some of us not actually,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to hold that and be with each other in that place of suffering, and really acknowledging it, but without it being depressing or
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
something that pulled us down. The connection
Absolutely.
and the kindness. I think the kindness
Yes.
there was extremely healing.
Yes. It was almost tangible, and it was.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, we heard people's stories
Yes.
who had cancer, but it
Mm.
was never. And yes, you felt real compassion for other people,
Yeah.
and but I never came away from the meetings or the sessions feeling depressed. Far from it.
No.
And once they stopped, I still miss them now. Monday
Yes.
mornings I should be
Me
in this
too.
group. So
Yeah,
um
exactly.
yes, so it's very uplifting.
Yeah.
um and I mean, I personally don't like the word positive because of the
No.
connotations about the, be positive, be positive.
Yeah.
But it was a positive experience. It was healing. It was uplifting. It was beautiful.
Yeah. No. Thank you. Oh, and I just wondered if you could share any more about what you've taken forward that maybe has shifted your experiences, your attitude, the way that you are, maybe in a practical way or an emotional way, bearing in mind you still are ongoing with your investigations and that vigilant and so on.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. On a practical level, I have bought a beautiful rose quartz crystal to take with me to any appointments.
Oh,
And it's an egg, and
yeah.
it's
Oh,
just beautiful. I bought it in Glastonbury,
mm.
and I will take that with me because that's in itself is to hold that and feel it is healing.
Yeah.
When I had a
Just
GP appointment recently,
to interject, is part of a practice that we do as a mindful object practice, which is to find an object that speaks to you in some way, and then to know that we can take that and use it as an anchor to drop
yeah,
into the present moment. Oh,
that's my
sounds
crystal.
beautiful.
Absolutely, it just feels wonderful.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's that. And I had a GP appointment recently, and I was just it was nothing to do with cancer, but and I did one of the little self-soothing
mm,
exercises in the waiting room, and I just self-soothing on the top there, and it really helps. So I know I've got these practical tools to help when I have appointments. I am doing the meditation practices. I have to confess, not as often as I want to, but because I'm a creature of habit and I'm out of my sort of routines at the moment because it's summer and people are
yeah,
coming and going, doing things and
understood.
so on. But come September, I already am building up again, and I try and do it very early in the first, early morning, first thing in the
Mhm.
morning, and it just sets the tone for the day, which is
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
And I find that very, very helpful. And I've said I'm getting a bit nervous about my upcoming scans, but I'm not as nervous as I have been in the past. So
Mm,
that's interesting.
yeah.
Um, and the other thing, and which is a big shift, because I mentioned before, one of the reasons about people's about being disappointed, which sounds very selfish, but being disappointed about people's reactions
Yeah.
when I've expected and wanted and longed for
Mm,
proper, real deep support from people, which has not been forthcoming
mm,
from people I expected, and it didn't arrive. And I'm okay with that. And
yeah.
I think this course has helped me shift my attitudes to that because, I talked about sympathy and empathy, but I only came to a clear crystal understanding
Mm,
of of that, I think, during this course. And when you mentioned about um, feeling compassion, because like I said to you before, sometimes there's something on there. There's a Buddhist thing on the internet, and it was about wish people it doesn't matter. They're not there, and didn't do that. Just wish them well. Not that it doesn't matter, but that you can accept it and wish and send them compassion. And that has really helped as well. So my relationship with those people, I mean, they're probably totally oblivious to all this that I went through, but and I'm sure they are. But it's very one-sided. But it's helped me heal that wound. And I am going to say the word wound because it was a very close friend, and but yeah. So I'm much more at ease with how other people have been alongside me during this pathway.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing.
Yes. Yeah. And so grateful for those who've supported us.
Absolutely.
And really focusing on that.
And yes.
Letting that the people who weren't in a place to be able to support us for whatever reason
exactly
burn a hole, can't it? And actually that acceptance, that letting go is really beneficial and healing, and enables us to have the energy to focus on what we need to.
Yes, definitely.
It. So yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, Lorna. And so lovely to hear that the tools, the strategies, the practices are still being unfolded into your life. But the change, I can really hear it's deeper than that, and it's more of an attitudinal change, and feeling that you have something that you can use, that I'm sure is contributing to your reduced anxiety.
Yes, definitely.
It builds up,
definitely.
So, oh, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add at the end?
Just that I missed the sessions. It's a shame they didn't go for longer. No, I don't think so. I do feel it's given me a different outlook. And it has just been incredibly helpful. As I say, I found things on the internet which I listened to, particularly coming up to surgery and so on. But this has been life-changing in that it's changed me as a person, I think, in the way that I consider what has happened and what might happen. And it's certainly helped me, just to heal from everything I've been through. And help me, because it's, this is going to be an ongoing situation the rest of my life. I know I'm going to have annual checks for the rest of my life, not just after 5 years. But I'm trying to flip the coin from, all these appointments to, actually, that's really great benefit to me. So that's a big change for me as well.
Oh, gives me goosebumps. Because I too have experienced that. I absolutely get it. So
because it's being kind to ourselves, isn't it? To have those appointments is kind to ourselves. And to be compassionate to ourselves, exactly. Lovely. Thank you so much. And it's a wonderful course. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And it's amazing how 8 hours can just make such a difference.
I know.
And the shorter practices too.
Yes. And, and the fact that the practices are short is really helpful, because it is, you can just tune into them mentally, even if you're not actually doing them. Sometimes I just think about them, and even that is an energetic change, I think, and can affect how my mood for the day, or for that minute when I need it. Yes.
No, well, thank you so much, Lorna. I really, really appreciate you sharing. And I'm so delighted that it's helped you as much as it sounds that it has, because I know from my own experience that these shorter practices can be life-changing.
Yeah,
Use your expression. So
absolutely.
yeah, I feel really I've got a warm heart from
Oh,
listening to you, and I'm thrilled to be able to offer this program
yeah,
to people like us.
yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Okay, now I don't
Yeah.
know, just to say, if anybody is thinking of it, I just of doing this, I would recommend it, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. What a great note to end on.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much, Lorna, and
Okay, have a
yeah,
lovely
be
day.
well.
Thanks, Karen.
Okay,
Thank
you
you.
too. Bye.
Bye. Bye.